Zorch is back to break down some of the biggest news this week. We start off in the waters of Israel with Mandla Mandela, a guy who can't pass up the opportunity to tell you that his grandfather was Nelson Mandela. Mandla is finally creating his own legacy. He's about to become a political prisoner in the name of Palestine. Yes, it's not quite the Rivonia trial, but he's finally found a struggle he can go to jail for. For those of you who don't know, Mandla is a chief of a village in the Eastern Cape. Mandla is also a Muslim by marriage. So his latest political stunt probably comes from the bedroom. Nope, I mean from the heart. Because everyone knows, anytime a husband goes missing, there's always a grieving wife in the background willing to confirm you sent her strange messages. This whole stunt proves how great a country South Africa is in terms of human rights. You have to travel over 9,000 kilometers to be a political simp. Yes, we know that Israel is committing a genocide. It's up to the rest of the world to grow balls and actually act against it. We filed the paperwork, long ago. I thought we were fighting this war virtually, like on Microsoft Teams, bro. There's got to be other ways to deliver aid. Hot air balloons, drones, not boats. Like your pirates, have you guys not seen Captain Phillips? The scriptwriters in South Africa could not wait 24 hours to make us forget that Julius Malema has been found guilty of firing a gun in public. Who's been gunning for Julius? Simple answer, AfriForum. Remember that saying, a boer maak 'n plan? Nobody gave two shits about what he did at that stadium, but a certain group of people did. The lesson here is, if you have people who are hate watching you, you should be on your best behavior. AfriForum and Julius have a symbiotic relationship. They elevated him to the heights of the White House. They made him Kang the Conqueror of their farm murder saga, but that franchise sadly never took off. It was all just to farm engagement. You thought that the brown note was a myth? Every time he sang Kill the Boer, a certain minority group shat themselves. But that all changed the moment he was found guilty. Political analysts are speculating that Julius won't set a foot in jail. But in typical Julius fashion, he's declared that jail would be a badge of honor. Continuing the jail-hungry trend of the Mandela family fanboys, sentencing has been postponed until next year, January. But if you feel there might be some unrest, it at least gives you time to hire the Phoenix Avengers, who openly fired shots in the air and at people like they just don't care, but had no charges laid against them. Talk about turning the other cheek. We move on to Tembisa Hospital, which is arguably one of the biggest news of the week. But did you know that the Tembisa Hospital in the year 2021 was almost in the Guinness World Book of Records for a woman who gave birth to 10 babies? That's decuplets. It was one of those announcements that caught us all by surprise. The problem with that story was that it was fake, and the news had spread to the UK or wherever people give birth to litters. Now we know why that story was released. It was a distraction from the record-breaking looting. You thought only banks could be looted? Nah, these syndicates had the patience to loot the blood bank. Cat Mandela is involved once again, proving his supervillain material like Barker Haynes and David Gennaro. I saw the graph with all those luxury cars they bought, but the one that gives it away for me is the Regency 250 LE3 boat. Have you seen this thing? Look at this, look at that. All those pictures have one thing in common. There are no black people in them. If you're a black guy and you bring home a boat, 10 to 1, your white neighbor is going to report you. Sometimes I think tenderpreneurs are so tone deaf when it comes to the connection of slavery and boats. Hashtag roots, hashtag Kunta Kente, hashtag whatever that face is that black people make when they get out of water. That concludes our roast of the news of the week. Do you think they'll free Mandla after 27 months? Your guess is as good as mine. Zorch, peace out.